Hi friends, welcome to my channel Plants and Birds. In last video we discussed about the irrigation management and sources of irrigation, factors affecting irrigation and factors affecting irrigation methods. Factors affecting irrigation methods as we studied in the last video. Now we study about the irrigation methods. There are three types of irrigation methods based on type of the crop, soil and climatic parameters, quantity of irrigation water available based on these three type of the crop soil, climatic parameters and quantity of the irrigation water available. Now first method, surface or gravity based method. Second one is subsurface or subsoil method. Third one is pressurized or micro irrigation method. First method, we will learn about the first method, surface or gravity based method. Commonly followed. Water is applied directly to the soil surface by providing checks from water flow based on gravity. This method is very commonly seen. Okay, commonly seen method of irrigation. Okay, next requirements. What are the requirements for this method? Land should be well prepared. Land should be well prepared and plain. It is leveled. Adequate quantity of irrigation water is required. Okay, advantages: easy to operate, low cost, there is no investment is needed. Okay, technical knowledge is not required as direct water is giving. Okay, and there are four surface based methods. What are that? We will see that: flooding, furrow method, basin method, ring basin method. First one is flooding. Flooding, very simple and easy method followed in flats and flatlands. Water is allowed to flood the land. Commonly followed in command areas, canal irrigated areas wherever sufficient water is available. This flooding is very commonly seen in paddy fields from many years onwards. Okay. Next, what are the disadvantages then? More water is required. Okay, more water is required. Incidence of soil-borne pests and diseases is high as anaerobic condition is created in soil. Okay, next, basin method. Now we will learn about the basin method. Water is applied through circular basins prepared around the trunk of the tree. Okay, a circular basin is prepared around the trunk where the canal is perpendicular to the trees. Then the canal is connected to the two basins of the trees. Okay, this is the basin method followed in fruit orchards. Mainly for which method of surface method of is irrigation is followed in fruit orchard is basin method. Okay, so disadvantages: more water is required, labor required is high, incidence of pest and disease is seen. Okay, next, furrow method. This furrow method is water is applied through shallow furrows or channels near the plant or through alternate ridges and furrows. Commonly followed in row planted crops, vegetables, flowers, fruits. Vegetables like brinjal, tomato, and bende. Okay, all this can be done under furrow method. And flowers like crossandra and roses and lily and chrysanthemum can be done. Okay, fruits like papaya, guava, pomegranate can be grown under this furrow method. Okay, followed in medium to fine structured soils and slightly slopy lands must be required here. Okay, because to get adequate quantity of water to each plant. Okay, medium to fine texture, but light textured soils are not suitable as because every drop of water is percolated in that place itself, percolates easily in light texture soil. Okay, more water is required, labor required is high, not suited for light textured soil. Next, surface or gravity based method. In that, fourth method is ring basin method. Basin is prepared slightly away from the trunk. Okay, each basin is interconnected to the main irrigated channel. Tree trunk is not wetted, disease incidence is low. Okay, here tree trunk is not wetted, but in basin method tree trunk is wetted. Okay, and more water is required, labor required is high. Disease incidence is low in ring basin method. In surface methods, in which method of surface gravity or surface of gravity method, disease incidence is low means ring basin method. Okay. Next, subsurface or subsoil based method. In that picture method, water is applied below the soil surface as shown in the below picture. Mud pot with small holes kept in root zone below the soil level. Pit is covered with sand. Pots are filled with water and kept the lid closed. Followed in fruit trees. Okay, tree crops. Okay, tree crops. When there is a very excess deficit in water, in some wetlands the trees are die as they are 20 to 30 years old. They are died due to the water deficit. To overcome this method is very useful, I thought. Okay, as water watering 15 days once in a 15 days is enough, because evaporation loss is not there, and every drop of water is utilized by the roots. Okay, and water is given directly to the root zone. All this helps. Okay, next, using perforated pipe method. This is not a popular method, but this because of its salt accumulation to the soil. Water is applied below soil level using a network of perforated pipelines to reduce evaporation loss. Okay, this is the only advantage, to reduce evaporation loss. Okay, what are the disadvantages? Level land is required compulsory. Salt accumulation is a main disadvantage of this using perforated pipeline. Okay, next is pressurized irrigation system, micro irrigation we call it, sprinkler and drip. Sprinkler, water is sprayed to the air or allowed to fall on the ground resembling rainfall. Water is pumped under pressurized to emit it out by a small nozzle to sprinkle on the soil surface. Okay, what are the advantages of sprinkler irrigation? High highly suited for sandy soils. More infiltration rate is there, then where each and every drop fall on the leaves it is utilized, and each and every drop fall on the sandy soils are utilized by the roots. Okay, it can be followed in shallow soils where leveling is not possible. Can also be found in undulated in soapy lands. Fertilizers pesticide can be applied through irrigation water. Controls canopy, as drop by drop rainy it will fall on the leaves. Canopy temperature can be made. Less labor and water is required for the required surface method. Okay, next, sprinkler irrigation. In wind prone areas, high limitations. Sprinkler irrigation limitation in wind prone area, high speed wind carry away the water, reduce water use efficiency. Okay, this is the main disadvantage of this sprinkler irrigation. If saline soils are used, leaf scorching, burning, clogging and corrosion of pipelines is seen. Okay, continuous electricity is required. Okay, costly to install and maintain. Foliage wetting may lead to disease, because when daily there will be some moisture content on the leaf, which leads to sprouting, what is called germinating of spores on fungal and bacterial spores on the leaf, which leads to the diseases. Okay, next, layout of sprinkler irrigation system. This is sprinkler irrigation, which are the I will say one by one. Constraints: pump, water source, pump, delivery pipe, by passive wall. This is very important, by pass wall which passes the water, and screen filter. This screen the filter. Okay, screening the filter, because it does not allow any other particles to move into the sprinklers. Pressurized regards to uniform distribution of water. QRC pump connector, sprinkler. Sprinkler can be metal or plastic nodal can be used. QRCT, okay, control valve to control the amount of water. Okay, riser pipe, QRC bend to do for different rows. Okay, QRC service saddle. Okay, QRC end pipe to stop the water at the end. Okay, these are the constituents of sprinkler irrigation. Next, drip irrigation or trickle irrigation is very important word. Trickle irrigation is also another name of drip irrigation. Water is applied through a network of pipelines and is allowed to fall drop by drop to the root zone using drippers, microtubes or emitters. Here water is applied directly to root zone. Okay. Evaporation loss of water is very less. 30 to 60% saving in irrigation water is achieved. This is the important advantage of the drip irrigation or trickle irrigation. Next, drip irrigation or trickle irrigation advantages comes under infiltration rate is very less. There is no more infiltration as drop by drop falls on the root zone directly to the root. When the water is enough, we will stop the drippers. Okay, less evaporation losses and high water use efficiency. Okay, drip irrigation or trickle irrigation has high water use efficiency than sprinkler irrigation due to wind. Okay, weed growth is less as directly only to the specific plant root we will give the water. Facilitate application of fertilizers and pesticides through irrigation water. High fertilizer use efficiency. Okay, as direct fertilizers is reach the root zone, there is no loss of fertilizer. Can be followed in undulated and slopy land also. Foliage is not wetted, and here foliage is not wetted as only directly water is given to the root. Root is supplies the water to the other parts of the leaves, and there is no disease incidence there because there is no germination of spores or fungal and disease spores on the leaves. Okay, enhanced yield and quality of farm produce. There is conformly when we do drip irrigation, there is a conform increase or enhance in the yield as the conformly we will provide a specific amount of adequate quantity of water to the plant. Okay, and quality of farm produces are very nice. Okay, less labor is required. Limitations, but highly initial. When we start this, we want to have high initial investment. If saline water is used, then clogging of emitters occurs. For this, there is okay, drop by drop root zone limited area is wetted. Okay, as shown in the pictures. This is the layout of drip irrigation system. We will see one by one what are the constituents of drip irrigation now. Okay, these are the components of drip irrigation system. Sources of water are, there are 5 sources. See, we can use open well, bore well, tube well, canal and pond as a source of water. Next, filter. To remove suspended matter from the irrigated water, fertilizer solutions before feed to laterals. Okay, before giving to the water going to the laterals, we must remove suspended matter. Okay, depend on type of suspended matter present in water. There are 4 types of filters. They are sand filter. Okay, 3 types of filter: sand filter, hydrochlone filter and screen filter. Okay, sand filters, hydrochlone filter and screen filter. Okay, next other components of drip irrigation system are PVC pipes, which is 50 to 60 mm diameter main pipe and 40 mm is diameter is sub main. These are the important parameters to be remembered. Okay, laterals. What are the then what laterals are nothing but a direct through which the water is given to the plant. That must be 12 mm. If plant required is less comparatively less water, that means 250 to 300 liters per hour is give. Okay, 16 mm pipe means 400 to 500 liters per hour is given. Okay, depending on water requirement of the crop. Length of the lateral. For uniform distribution of water, 25 meters of length is maintained. Is very important point to be remembered. 25 meters of length is maintained for uniform distribution. Can depend on the pressure created in the pump length is of the field. Okay, you must give, otherwise you must give a high pressure. Okay, next other components are drippers or emitters or microtubes. All are same. Here various discharge capacity available. Okay, 5 LPH, 7 LPH, 8 LPH, 10 LPH, 20 LPH based on your choice. Okay, depend on water requirement of the crop. Okay, this drippers are fitted. Commonly used discharge of water can be regulated by adjusting the length of the microtubules. Okay, next optimum pressure for pressurized irrigation system. Drip irrigation. This is very very important to be kept in our mind for starting a drip irrigation. For starting a drip irrigation, see, for drip irrigation the pressure must be 1.5 to 2 kg per centimeter square. Okay. For sprinkler irrigation 3 to 5 kg per centimeter square. This is important. For drip irrigation 1.5 to 2 kg per centimeter square. Sprinkler irrigation 3 to 5 kg per centimeter square is required. Next, managing. I told you, when the salinity water is used, there is a clogging of a drip. Okay, serious problem in drip irrigation is clogging of drippers or emitters. Soil, sand, organic debris in irrigated water, saline irrigated water, calcium carbonate, use of chemical fertilizers, biological contaminants are the main reason for this. Okay, biological microorganisms or algae. Filters should be used. Bore wells, screen filter. Bore wells, if the bore wells are used, then screen filter must be used. Okay, as I told, okay, this screen filter is the last image that is used when bore wells are used to remove the calcium carbonate, saline, okay, salinity, and ponds, streams, slit water, then sand filter or hydrochlorine filter. These both are used for the to remove sand or slit. Okay, this is the main thing to be remembered. Next, managing clogging in drip irrigation. How to manage? Other methods of managing clogging: salt accumulation in laterals, drippers, and emitters. Treating with HCl, H2SO4, phosphoric acid can be done to remove the salt accumulation in laterals. Okay, HCl is the best one they recommend. Okay. Next, at the end of the cropping season, well in advance of next cropping, mild HCl is pumped into the drip unit along with water pH 4 and allowed to stay. See here, when water is pH 4, then only we must give to that. Then water of the pH must be 4. See that? Okay. Then it will be cleaned and allowed to stay inside the unit for 24 hours and flush. Okay. To stay and leave the next after 24 hours, you leave the water. Okay, then all the salt is eliminated. Biological contaminants like algae and microorganisms is there, means fused with chlorine water. Okay, calcium hypochlorite or sodium hypochlorite or chlorine gas is used. Cheaper and popularly used is calcium hypochlorite is popularly used. Okay, fused means given giving water and letting out from another side. Okay, flushed with chlorine water, that is calcium hypochlorite is very very important and cheaper and popularly used biological contaminant remover, okay, from the drippers. Next, fertigation. Now we will learn about the fertigation. This fertigation is nothing but technique of applying water soluble fertilizers to the crops along with irrigation water through micro irrigation system, that is drip irrigation. Okay, drip irrigation is the best one. Otherwise sprinkler irrigation also can be used. See, traditional methods are broadcasting, line method or basin method. These are three applied at once with 2 or more split doses. Not available to plants. Whole fertilizer is not available to plants. Their leaching is done, volatilization, vapor drift is done, runoff is seen. Okay, this all these are all the disadvantages of traditional methods. So that regular application of plant nutrients in smaller quantity at different stages of plant growth, better crop growth, yield and quality is seen. Fertigation is required. Okay, for why fertigation is for better crop growth, yield and quality is the same. Regular application of plant nutrients in smaller quantity at different growth stages, then each and every nutrient is available to the plant. Okay, high efficiency use, high fertilizer efficiency is seen. Okay, next, what are the advantages? Improves fertilizers use efficiency by reducing runoff, leaching, volatilization and fixation losses. Increases availability of nutrients to plants. Okay, nutrients are applied directly to the root zone. 20 to 40% of saving is seen. Flexibility in application of fertilizers as and when required at required quantity and to meet a specific nutrient requirement of the crop. Chemication is possible. Pesticides, weedicides, herbicides or fungicides can be given through fertigation. Can apply small doses of nutrients at frequent intervals. Better crop growth, yield and quality losses. And another advantage is due to high doses of fertilizer, some plants will die. That can be reduced. Okay. Next, what are the criteria of selection of fertilizer for fertigation? Should be completely water soluble, should not corrode the pipe or clog the emitters, okay, should not easily leach from the soil, should not change the pH of the water. If you add that fertilizer to the water, it does not change the pH of the water. It depends. It does not change the pH of the water. This is important one to be remembered. Should not get precipitated when mixed with other chemicals. Okay, if you add DAP and then urea, if DAP is precipitated, then what is the use of that? Okay, so that should not precipitated when mixed with other chemicals or fertilizers. Okay. Next, water soluble fertilizers for fertigation contain greater than 1% of plant nutrition in liquid or solid form. Fertilizer for fertigation contain greater than 1% of plant nutrients in liquid or solid form. Slightly acidic in reaction. Okay, water soluble fertilizers are slightly acidic in reaction, pH 5.5 to 6. Doesn't clog the emitters or drippers. Costly and not popular in India. Okay. Here India, these are not popular but in coming days it will become compulsory popular because of high fertilizer use efficiency. Okay, see some are the examples: type of fertilizer, water soluble fertilizer, and NP fertilizer, that is nitrogen and phosphorus fertilizer, urea phosphate 174400, mono ammonium phosphate 1148. Okay, PK fertilizer, mono potassium phosphate 5234, NK fertilizer, potassium nitrate 130044, K fertilizer, sulfate of potash. Okay, 18% of sulfur can be used. This is important. Okay, NPK fertilizers 19:19 is very important fertilizer to be used in many horticultural and agricultural operations during drip irrigation. Okay. Next, thank you friends. This is about the irrigation management and other irrigation methods, fertigation. Okay, thank you friends for and try to get a good information about all this. And next video we will learn about the mineral nutrition of our agricultural and horticultural operations.